I'm Breann Parriott Gray, and I have with me today Miss Spokane's teen, Paige Tobin. Paige, I've really been looking forward to the opportunity to visit with you today because I think you have such a cool story. We know each other through the Miss America organization, and you've been Miss Spokane's teen 2023. Can you share with me a little bit about what your pageant journey has been like? When did you get involved? Why did you get involved? And what has the year been for you?
I got involved in Miss Spokane. That was my first pageant ever.
Okay.
And I saw it during COVID, but we didn't have a pageant during COVID or the year after.
Yeah.
And so I competed this past year, which was our first teen pageant in 2 years.
Yay!
And so I won that, and then I went on to Miss Washington's teen to get 4th runner-up, talent winner, and Teens in Action finalist.
Woo! Lots of stuff there.
Yes.
So how much have you won at this point? Do you have a dollar amount?
I've won around $5,000.
Okay, okay, all right. Now, I know that you have a lofty scholastic ambition as well as career ambition. So share a little bit about that, because I know that $5,000 is going to make a difference.
So I want to be a pediatrician,
Okay.
and so that's a lot of school. And
Yes.
so I want to go to college on the East Coast, maybe NYU, and then I have to go to medical school to become a doctor. So.
All right. So why NYU? Have you visited? Do you know, what do you know about the school? What attracts you to it?
I have not visited yet. We're going to visit soon, so that's exciting. But I liked that it's in New York City. It's a fun city. I've been there before. And the school isn't contained in one area. It's across the city.
Yes, that's a really cool thing about the school. So you're how old now?
I'm 17.
You're 17, and what grade in school?
A junior.
Junior. And what school are you attending?
North Central High School.
Okay. And any favorite classes?
My favorite class would have to be genomics. It's an independent research
Okay, well,
class.
say that one more time. Your favorite class is what?
Genomics.
Okay. And what is genomics?
It's an independent research class where everybody can choose their own topic to research.
Really? Okay, so some self-guided decision making. You get to choose.
Yep.
And so what have you chosen to study?
I've chosen to study diet influencing behavior in C. elegans.
C. elegans.
C. elegans.
Okay, what is a C. elegans?
It's a tiny worm. They live everywhere, and they share 99-ish% of their DNA with humans.
Really?
Yep.
So that information in your studying would then somehow be transferable to what human DNA might also
Yep.
expect?
We're looking at genes that are in humans as well. So we're looking at how, if they eat different foods, how do they sleep afterwards, and how do their genes turn on and off. And so then we can learn about humans in the process.
Wow. Do you have any issue with gluten?
No, I don't.
Okay. But I do, it's a huge thing right now, and
Yes.
I'm sure as a pediatrician, you would probably end up seeing a lot of young people. So do you feel like what you're learning now may be informing yourself for the future a little bit?
Yes, and then once I learn all about C. elegans and how sleep works, I can tell my patients when I'm older about how what they eat affects their sleep.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what, I mean, most of the time you sit down with, here's the credits I need to complete for school. How did you pick this class? Was this just like one that was available? Was this a requirement? Did you go, oh no, I've been looking forward to this, I want this one? How did you end up in this class?
Yeah, so in my high school, we choose a pathway. I chose a science pathway, and so you have to take a certain amount of science classes. And I took some prerequisites, which was biomedical technologies and biosolutions.
Wow.
And then I got to do genomics. And those 2 classes before prepare you with lab techniques and other research projects.
Okay, so you're 17 now, but when did you really realize you're kind of a science nerd?
I realized that when I was very young. I used to perform science experiments in my bathroom, and I would hide them from my mom, and then she would find them. It was a whole big deal.
Okay, tell me about one. You gotta tell me
one of them, I was growing an avocado seed in water, and I just put it in the drawer because it needed darkness to start growing. And then my brother opened the drawer and was like, "Paige, what is this avocado doing in here?" I was like, you can grow avocados, just do it outside, please.
Yeah, no kidding. No
Yeah.
kidding. Your poor mom. So you knew from a young age then you were really interested in how things work and in terms of how things grow and how things produce. And so did someone help guide you in this, or is this just kind of something that you have cultivated for yourself? Has school really been, you know, an instrumental in getting you to this place where you're like, I'm going to be a physician? When did you kind of know all of that, and who helped guide you, or what guided you?
I can't put a specific date. I've always wanted to be a pediatrician, but my parents were very encouraging in my science experiments and getting into science.
That's cool. Are either of your parents in the medical field?
Nope.
No, nobody in the family.
Some aunts.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Any doctors?
I have an uncle that's a doctor.
Okay. All right. And is he in pediatrics, or is he in something else?
He's in something else.
Okay. So what drew you to pediatrics? I mean, kids are kind of a handful. I've got one. So why in the world would you want to spend your career with little people?
I love kids. They're so fascinating and so funny. And I've had my experience at the doctor's office where they won't listen to me because they might not believe my story or something. And I want to be that person who will listen to them and help them through that.
Wow. That's really cool. And I would agree with that. I do think that sometimes as adults, we don't hear kids. I'm including you in this at 17. As adults, we don't hear the little kids, right? And I think it's hard also for children to really verbalize, you know, what if it hurts, or if it, you know, doesn't feel right, or that sort of stuff. They're just, I think that's wonderful that you want to help them find their voice that way. All right, so I had some questions here that I wanted to make sure that we touched on today, so I'm going to go back to my list here. I'm curious to know why you decided on pageants. So here you are, this science girl, and you want to enroll yourself, register yourself for an experience that's all about, you know, fancy dresses and makeup and hair, and, you know, obviously there's a scholarship component, right? But you heard about it during COVID. There wasn't a pageant. Like, how did you hear about it, and what made you go, I'd like to do that?
Well, when I was little, I would always see the princesses, all Miss Spokane's teen, all around at the parades and everything.
Cool.
And I knew I wanted to be her. And so I went and I became her. And I just want to show other little girls that it doesn't matter what you do, you can still be her.
Yes, absolutely. So, okay, so question then. You're 16 and you've registered for the pageant and you're getting ready. Right, so I'm assuming that your local organization probably had some workshops, some preparation support, kind of let you know what to expect going into this. How many other women or teens were involved in that with you?
There were about 9.
Okay, wow, lots. This big group of gals.
That was just in the team.
Yeah,
there were more in Miss.
Okay, and as you were getting ready, like, did you feel any apprehension, or did you just kind of know the whole time, you know, I'm ready, I know I could do this, I could handle it, or were there any things that came up for you that made you feel anxious or nervous?
Definitely interview and on-stage questions. For me, those are the most nerve-wracking parts of competition, but I practiced with my mom. At Miss Spokane, they gave us a practice interview too, so that helped. But yeah, that was the only part of competition that I was really nervous for.
And you're a dancer.
Yep.
What kind of dance?
For pageants, I do point, but I do all styles.
All right. And do you love point work, or do you like the technical difficulty of point work? Is that what you've chosen?
Yes, I love point and I love how difficult it is, but I also like that it has a structure. Other types of dance, it's kind of
more
free. But point and ballet in general, you like follow a certain way of moving.
Yes, I was a ballet dancer too. Love ballet, absolutely love it. At the time, actually, when I was in about 4th grade, I really wanted to quit ballet, and I'm so glad my mom didn't let me do it. Because even as an adult today, I still take classes on rare occasions. I don't get to do it as much as I like to, but I do love it when I get to. Okay, so how do you feel that participating in a scholarship pageant has prepared you for other things in life? Can you give me a story or an example of how going through this experience translates elsewhere?
Yeah, I've just been able to talk to people more clearly with the interview skills. And when I get older for college interviews, medical school interviews, job interviews, I will have interview skills at my handy.
Yeah, no kidding. Right there in your toolbox, right? You just pull it out and go for it.
Yep.
Just like this. And you're so natural. It's very easy to visit with you. And you're a lot of fun to talk with. So every local program in the Miss America organization encourages women to choose a service initiative. And you've selected one that you've been working on for the past year and promoting throughout the Spokane community. Tell me a little bit about your community service initiative, and let's just start with that. What is it, and how'd you select it?
Okay, my community service initiative is Let's Go Play Today, making youth sports more financially available.
Let's Go Play Today, making youth sports more financially available.
Yep.
Okay, and what made you decide on that? How'd you choose that?
In my own community, I have seen kids who haven't been able to play in sports, and that affects their teamwork skills, that affects their decision making, and how they react when they come to a hard thing in their life. And so I think it's crucial that all kids play sports.
Yes, I like that. Okay. Now, obviously, there are some things that get in the way of that. And so what's been your experience in seeing kids not accessing sports?
Yeah, tuition fees, getting equipment, snack fees. You have to bring snacks at least once for the whole team. That's a lot of kids. And so those fees, they can't play sports if their family is unable to pay those.
Sure. Yeah, I know that our little guy played baseball recently, and I know that our local baseball organization offers scholarship opportunities for kids. Do you feel like, I wouldn't have known that initially, do you feel like parents realize that scholarship or assistance is available?
No, I don't think they do, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show everybody that there are scholarships out there, not just in Spokane, but across the nation.
Yes. Are you working with any national organizations? Are you familiar with any?
I am. So there's All Kids Play, and then just in Spokane, there's Love 11.
Okay. All right, and they offer
scholarships, and they help pay for tuition for sports.
Okay, very cool. And the age range, is there a specific age range that you're working with? Or were we talking about from like preschool age, kindergarten age, all the way up through high school to help all levels? Really? Okay, I didn't know that. That's really cool. That would be great, because I know that especially as kids get older, gear gets more expensive. The registration fees are more expensive. Sometimes travel is involved as another expense, and then you've got maybe an overnight, or you've got meals to all that stuff. It gets pricey. So with regard to All Kids Play, I know that you're going to continue competing. You're not done after you give up your title here in just a few months. You are going to go back and compete again as an open contestant for the title of Miss Washington's teen. What are you thinking about now? If you've had a year under your belt of being Spokane's teen, how could you take this across the state as Washington's teen title holder? If you had that microphone to sort of spread awareness and advocacy, what does that look like to you?
I would just go throughout the school districts in the state of Washington, and I would let them know, like, send this out to your parents, because there are things to help the kids play sports. And I would also find more scholarship opportunities in different areas of Washington.
Yeah, and continue promoting those. Are you planning on being out at any sporting events with your crowd? Your banner?
Yes, hopefully,
I love that. Especially for young girls in sports too, right? Getting them access to sporting, and also encouraging them to continue in sport as they get older, right? When sometimes they drop out or don't continue. Look back to choosing to compete in a pageant and deciding, I'm gonna do that. If a young woman wasn't familiar with the Miss America opportunity, didn't know anything about Spokane's teen, and how to get involved, kind of what advice would you give her, or what would you tell her about the organization and your experience in it that might motivate her to consider this as an opportunity that she would be interested in?
I would tell her that the Miss America opportunity opens doors to go so many places, and it teaches you so many lessons, and you make so many friends. The sisterhood is amazing. Yes, and when you learn interview skills,
Yes.
then you can go out into the real world and get a job.
Yeah, yeah, so true, so
Yep.
true. And the sisterhood, you touched on that. So we talk about the 4 points of the crown,
Yep.
and that's the fifth.
Yep.
That isn't actually promoted, but if you've been in it
you
for a minute, you know
Yep.
it's probably one of the most beneficial aspects
Yep.
of participating. And so speak to that for a minute, because I think there is a misconception that women who are attractive and intelligent and well-spoken and in a competitive environment would then somehow be pitted against each other, you know, more of like a caddy, like, I'm gonna win, you know, I'm gonna beat you, sort of a, but that wasn't what I experienced. What's your experience?
That's not at all what I experienced. And I know that at state, whenever a girl needed her dress zipped up, every single girl in there would be willing to go and zip up her dress. It didn't matter.
Yep.
Yep.
Pin the hair.
Yep.
Fix the flyaways,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Like, oh, your earrings loose, you
Yep.
know, all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, it's really supportive sisterhood. Yeah, I found that to be true as well. You know, for women who are getting ready right now, so we've got some local pageants coming up, as well as the state competition. You've been at Miss Washington's team, and that's a different level of competition than the local. What would be 2 things that you would tell young women to do to help them get ready? Where should their focus be in terms of their preparation, knowing that once they win their local title, Miss Washington's team is just a few months away? How do they need to focus their energies in terms of their preparation? 2 things they should be focused on.
Okay, practice questions a lot. So like in the car driving with your mom, have her just spontaneously ask you questions. And also wear your heels around your house so that you feel comfortable and you feel grounded while you're walking.
Oh, great tips.
Yes.
Great tips. I love that. I got to break those heels in and get comfortable in them for sure. Also, going to Miss Washington's team, what was one thing that really stood out for you about that experience? Something that you carry with you today?
One thing is the sisterhood. I am still friends with so many of those girls. I'm so proud of Emily. She represented Washington amazing, and I'm always so excited to see her.
Yes, and that's our current Miss Washington's team, Emily Hamilton, and she has been she just got back from Miss America's team last month. She did a beautiful job representing us there. We're very proud of her, and she is a delight. She's amazing. A true friend, right? Yes. You know, I was the director of the Miss Washington team program for 4 years, and I love the teams. I think you all are just the most fun, right? Tell me about the energy of being at a state competition with all of these teen girls ranging in age from 13 to 18. What's it like?
It's like a party. It's a party. We have events together, and while we're all there, we're all hanging out with each other, dancing around. It's amazing.
Yeah, telling stories, staying up too late. Did you have a roommate at state?
I did not. I stayed with my mom.
Okay, got it. That's a nice choice to be able to have that option. All right. So to date, I just want to know, what would you say is the most valuable thing that you have learned competing in pageant?
The most valuable thing I've learned has probably been that you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to be like crisp and clean all the time. Your hair doesn't need to be in every spot it should be, but you can just be yourself, and you don't have to make up a fake character to show the world.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Paige, I love that. So I just have to ask then, do you struggle with that?
I'm
a perfectionist.
I don't, but when I first started pageants, I felt like that maybe I had to be that pageant girl that you see all the time, and you don't. You really don't. We see that in our own Miss America right now with the military. That's amazing.
Yes. And very girl next door, right?
Yes.
And we actually, as title holders, we want our women to be approachable, right? We want people to feel like they can come up to them and that they're not like, you know, some superficial Barbie, right? You know, we want people to come up to you at an appearance and feel like they're at ease visiting with you and getting to know you and sharing their stories and all of that, asking you questions. Yeah, I love that. You don't have to be perfect. No, you don't. And we're not, are we?
No.
All right. So I know that you and I met each other as a result of you jumping into some coaching, some mentorship with me.
Yep.
And I'm just curious, why would you choose to pursue mentorship or coaching? I know the local organization offers some assistance with preparation.
Yeah.
As an open contestant, usually you'll have some kind of a mentor. But why did you choose to pursue something outside of that?
I felt like I was like spiraling out of control in the interview. I didn't have a hold on it, and I really needed somebody to guide me through that and teach me how to grasp onto my interview and guide my own interview.
Okay, yeah, great. Well, we've definitely done some work on interview, and I've just watched you progress, and it's been delightful for me, and I've loved working with you. What's your favorite phase of competition now?
My favorite phase is talent.
Yes.
It's always been talent. I love, and I've grown up on stage. I've been dancing since I was 4, and so all the way up until now, I've been on stage.
How did it feel to win that talent preliminary award last year?
That was so much fun, and I was so proud of myself. Yeah.
And what piece of music did you dance to?
I danced to Dance for Me Wallace last year.
Beautiful, beautiful, love it. And what do you love most generally about pageantry as a whole? What do you what just lights you up about pageantry? I love this about it.
I really like trying on new clothes.
Yes.
I got way out of my comfort zone, and now it's just like my style. It's like a change of style. But I also love the real skills that it gives you for the real world.
So tell me a little bit about that, a change of style, because obviously one of the things that we talk about is there's no such thing as like a cookie cutter pageant girl, right? We want women who are real and genuine and authentic and true to themselves, right? And so when you say it's been a change in style for me, share with me what that progression has been like and why you feel like you've had a change.
Yeah, I remember after I won Miss Spokane's teen, I went shopping with my mom to go get interview dresses. And when I was trying them on, I was like, Mom, I don't like this. I really don't like this. But now, this is my favorite interview dress. I love it so much. And so that was the change of style. It hasn't really changed like my style at school, but like in life and when I do pageantry stuff, I don't wear like jeans and a t-shirt. I wear my dress if it's appropriate.
And it feels comfortable now. Yeah. It's like you've gotten used to it and you kind of like it. Yeah. I love this interview dress. It's fantastic. You got your power color on today. Going right for women, right? Yep. Well, is there anything that I haven't brought up that you were really hoping that we would chat about today? Or a story that you would like to share that I haven't asked you about or given you an opportunity to share?
I don't think so. I think we touched on most of everything.
Okay, good. Now, before we wrap things up, so you live in the Spokane area. Mom and dad in Spokane. You've been Spokane people all your lives. Is that true? Okay. And you have a brother. That's the only sibling.
Brother,
okay. Any darling pets at home? No pets. I know we're a pet-free home in my house. I have terrible allergies. Just say no to fur. Anything with fur. And then hobbies. So I know you said dance. Obviously, you must take a ton of your time, especially as good at it as you are. Clearly, you spend a lot of time in studio. And anything else outside of that?
Yes, I love to bake.
Oh.
So this year I got into sourdough bread making, so that has been really fun. It's been a challenge, but it's been fun.
Yes.
And I also have learned how to make steak, and I've learned how to cook, which has been really fun.
Okay. Was this something that you just came up with yourself, that you were like, I'm gonna learn how to bake and cook this year? Or did you have an assignment in school, or did mom say it's time for you to start making dinner once a week, or like what happened?
I've always liked helping my dad make pancakes in the morning or whatever. And when he makes steak, sometimes I like to make it instead, and I do think I do a little bit better job.
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't know. Maybe it depends on the person. It depends on who you ask.
Okay. Okay. All right. We love steak around here. Yeah. And my husband does a great job. I like cooking as well. So it's nice, but to have another set of hands in the kitchen, right? And I really find that when you cook together, it creates opportunities for conversation and relationship building. And so I think it's really fun to have the whole family involved in the kitchen. So I love that you're doing that with your parents. Well, Paige, this has been just a really fun conversation with you today. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. And I just wish you all the best in your future endeavors. I can't wait to see where your star is headed.
Thank you.